Every word, every action, every moment spent with your newborn is a seed. Now, what kind of legacy are you planting? I am William Chapman III. You are tuning in to the Willpower Hour podcast, where we encourage individuals to elevate their lives through personal development, starting with the mindset. Now, today we're going to explore the mindset of intentional parenting regarding how your words, your actions, and your leadership can literally shape your child's emotional foundation. Let's get into it. I am officially 31 years old with a 9-day old newborn baby girl. Yeah, I said it. There's a lot of memes or a lot of posts that be going around on social media saying, oh, you're going to be 40-year-old with a 1-year-old, this and that and the third. I am proud to say that I'm going to be 31 or 32 with a 1-year-old at some point. And one of the reasons why is because I never wanted to be a young parent. And the reason being is because of the things that I have endured, with my parents, from my mother and my father. My father's, absence, because, of incarceration. And, my mother being a young mother, being pregnant at 15 years old and having me at 16, imagine how that can be. My mother, she tried the best she could. My mother wasn't a bad mother. So let me start there, because it's gonna sound like my mama was a bad mama, and she wasn't a bad mama. She just did not know how to, I guess, spend that type of time with us outside of the home. She loved us. She worked extra jobs to try to get us what we needed. But when it came to like the enjoyment, like going to the park or, any extracurriculars or outings outside the home as we was growing up, me and my two siblings, she didn't really know how to do that. And part of that because I discovered that she possibly was battling some things within herself. She was trying to grow as a young person herself, which is one of the reasons why I did not want to be a young mother. A young father. And two, knowing who I was at an early age, in my early 20s, or even in my teenage years when people are still, creating babies. I just feel like if I had a child at that time, I would probably have done my child a disservice. If it just, if it was just about me and how I was raising my child. Now, I do have a grandmother and a mother who more than likely wouldn't allow me to be the type of young man that you probably see out here nowadays who's not taking care of their responsibility or not even, giving that time and emotion to their child. But just to make sure, I just, intentionally never wanted to be a young parent. I always say like, I could have had a child a long time ago, years ago, like literally. It's not that hard unless, you're unfortunate to not be able to produce. But I could have had one a long time ago, but I was intentional about it. I said I wanted to have kids, whenever I am married, I'm a little older. 30 years old was my point. After that, if I had a kid, that's what it is. I just wanted to make sure that I was established. Now, one thing I've learned that we will never be fully established or never feel like we're fully ready until we actually do it. That's why I said, hey, you know what? At 30, it's fair game. It doesn't matter where I am in life. 30 years old is fair game. I'll have a child. So my child was born in May, which is actually a good time because it's going into the summer seasons. And I'm a summer person. I like traveling. I like, being outside, being around nature. The only thing I think will be a con is that at some point she's probably going to be graduating, at 17, 18 years old in May. So that means it's extra money. And that's Mother's Day as well. Look, Mother's Day, child's birthday, graduation, and my father's birthday is in May as well. So there's a lot of things going on in May, and May is probably going to be one busy month for the rest of my life for many reasons. But I want to get into the feeling of having a child. One of my coaches, one of my mindset coaches, he asked me, he said, man, how does it feel to have a child or a baby girl? And I really didn't have the words for him at first because I was speechless. Like, the feeling I can't really explain, like, because there's so many emotions, so many feelings regarding this situation, But I went on to, tell him, like, it felt good because I have somebody that I was able to create equally with, my wife. And, you know, just growing up how I grew up, having some unfulfilled voids in my life, I am now able to use the things that I have went through and endured to be able to give my child a better life. And one of the main things that I love about, or I will love about having a child where I get to watch her grow, if the Lord say the same, is that I am able to develop her paradigm. And if you don't know what a paradigm is, it's just a set of habits, in your subconscious mind, which is very important for people to understand because it revolves around the things that we do daily without putting much thought into it. So, knowing that I have a child coming into this world and I'm able to shape her mindset, shape her environment, shape her energy, her confidence, it makes me feel good. Because we often hear, from younger people or even older people like, hey, I was born a certain way, and it's one of those like fixed mindset type of deals. Like they feel like they was brought into the world one way and there's no room for change or growth. But in reality, like everybody was born with no habits at all. Just the environment or the people we had in our lives or the things that we was exposed to created that type of paradigm, that type of mindset, and we started to carry out our life's mission based off of the things that we was exposed to. And most people are exposed to the negative things, and that is what they are able to, carry out because that's all they know. And you know, I was one of those kids, and I thought it was no way of changing at all until I was intentional about changing and seeing other people that may have went through things that I went through that gave me a different type of vision to know that, hey, like if they did it, I can do it because their story is similar to mine. So I began on that journey to change. So it's a great thing to know that I'm gonna be able to shape this little girl's mindset. I'm gonna be able to instill growth mindset properties into her. See, growing up, my parents didn't really instill those things into me. Not because they were negative people, just because, the culture, how they was brought up. They probably didn't really know how to instill those things. At least the things that I'm talking about, like confidence, having a great mindset, things like that. Of course, my mother, my grandmother, my father, at some point, supported me in some things and tried to lead me the right way. But it's kind of different when you intentionally expose or instill growth mindset properties into your child. Like let them know that you can be and do whatever you want. Um, you know, speaking affirmations upon them, praying upon them, just giving them those tools that they need at an early age so when they start hitting those important years of their life, they are already ready for whatever it is to come. And like I said, this is not to say that my parents didn't instill anything to me. It's just some of the things that I know and I would be instilling in my child, they probably didn't know or think to do based off of their situation. Because they probably had parents or went through things in their life where they wasn't supported or they didn't have people to instill certain things into them on a daily basis to create certain things. That's probably why some my parents or some of other people parents have went through things like maybe depression, maybe they lack confidence, Maybe they feel like they're not a good communicator. Maybe they feel like they're not a good thinker, or they can't do certain things because they have limited beliefs that they need broken, and nobody has helped them with those things. So to know that I'm on a journey of where every day I wake up with the mindset to work on myself and better myself each and every day, and I'm able to transform that or transfer that to my child, it feels good. I always say, like, life is not about me, but I continue to grow and build myself for other people. With now, number one, it's my family, especially my daughter, because she's young. That's where all the establishment of good habits and a clear vision is going to start, is with her at that age. Not later on in the, teen years or young adult years. Like, it's right now. Everything starts right now, you know. So it's a beautiful thing. But, the first few days of fatherhood, it was bitter, a little rough. It was a little rough. And I'm not going to say rough like it was bad. I've heard horror stories. But there was some ups and downs. Like, for instance, having to wake up and break your sleep in the middle of the night to change a diaper, to comfort your child, to feed a bottle. Man, it was rough. Especially for a person like me who goes to bed between 9 and 10 o'clock in the morning and wake up anywhere between 3 to about 4:30 in the morning. Like, having broken sleep for me, man, it can be irritable. Anybody who know me, they know my sleep is important. They know, don't wake me up if it's not important. And then I have this new life that I created that is basically waking me up, and I have to break my sleep. And I'm not complaining or anything. I'm expressing, I'm letting you know how my journey was. I remember, like, the second night, I was tired. Let me take a step back. I knew my baby girl was going to be special when she came out the womb, or came out of her mother, with her eyes open. And if I'm not mistaken, most babies after they're born, they go to sleep at some point, at least within the first hour. This special baby girl never went to sleep. She was up for the next 4, 5, 6 hours. She was born at 12:15 in the morning and didn't go to sleep until about 6 a.m. in the morning. Imagine that. And we had been up for, I think, well, at least her mother was up for the last, like, 24 to 36 hours because she couldn't sleep. She was in pain, contracting, and things like that. So this girl did not go to sleep. So imagine having broken sleep that day, up during the day because you got to nurture her and do things for her. And then at night you think you're going to get sleep on the second night and don't get no sleep. I went to sleep and I woke up after about an hour and a half, and I was irritated. I was mad. I was upset. But when I looked at her, I picked her up, all that faded away. Like, it washed away that quick. Because I instantly realized, like, it's not about me, for one. Two, she can't help herself. Like, she needs me. And three, it is bigger than me. It's about her. And from that point forward, I never became irritated again. I never became, anything negative regarding her. And I am grateful for whatever that was, that little moment. I am grateful for that moment because it made me realize, like, this is going to be the journey until I'm no longer here on this earth. Of course, they usually say the newborn stage is the hardest stage because you are breaking your sleep every few hours, having to feed, change diapers, and just nurture your child. But this is going to be my reality for the rest of my life that I'm here on this earth. And I'm going to be honest with you. I wouldn't change it for the world at all. Before we had baby girl, there were some questions if I was going to be able to watch the birth. Now, remind you, if you don't know this, I'm a former 911 paramedic of 7 years. I've seen these things. I do these things. I've seen everything in the book. But to think and say that I wasn't gonna be able to watch my child be birthed is crazy. It's crazy. I don't know why. I guess the one time or the last time I seen a birth, um, I walked in and a young lady, was giving birth. I walked in, got caught off guard. The child came shooting out. The bloody show came behind it, and the child came out like a fish when the doctor got her. And I'm like, oh. So it caught me off guard and messed me up. Versus when I'm prepared for it, it's a different ball game. So I guess I was just a little shocked. But to feel how I felt, but when she came, all that washed away. Actually, when we got to the hospital and got ready for labor, I got excited. I'm ready to cut the umbilical cord. I'm ready to deliver if I have to. I'm ready to change diapers and stuff. Like, I ain't never changed a diaper in a day of my life with a child. At all. Never. Never made a bottle. Never made anything. But the way I was changing diapers, waking up in the middle of my sleep, and feeding the baby for the first 36 hours, because her mother was still trying to recover from, the birth. In that moment, it's like, hey, look, she's trying to recover. She just went the last 36 to 48 hours in labor, plus the 9 months she carried, baby girl. I got to step up and do what I got to do. Because I didn't want to put all of that on her, because we know postpartum depression is real. And the last thing I want is her mother to go through that situation to the point that she doesn't want any dealings with our child. And in my mind, if that happened, it's like, well, we know the first, who knows, few weeks, months or whatever, the baby is relying on mother's physical touch, emotions, especially breastfeeding, to get the nutrients and everything she has. I ain't got breasts. I ain't got no breasts. I ain't got no milk, no none of that. I have the physical touch and the emotional support that I can give her, but that emotional support, physical touch, and everything else is nothing like she would get from the mother. So I wanted to help out, and I've been helping out how I can and when I can and where I can. And it's been a great journey. We're doing good. Baby girl is now she's now getting on a normal schedule, to the point that she's sleeping majority at night. I mean, she's sleeping about close to 24 hours a day, but she's no longer sleeping strictly during the day and then up all night like she was the first few days. She's now been in and out of her sleep through the day, and she's sleeping a little bit way more at nighttime. So now we're able to get more sleep, which is a blessing, because life don't stop. I separated from my job almost 90 days ago, so I'm in full-time entrepreneurship, and I have one huge project coming up, plus my group homes and stuff that I'm running right now. So, and of course I do a lot of other things as an advocate. So I have things that I have to do, and mom, she's no longer doing nails and stuff right now, so she's gonna be out for about 2-3 months. So it's like I have to make sure that I keep the funds coming into the home and taking care of everything. So it's like I need my sleep so I can be able to have enough energy and willpower to do what I gotta do. So it's been a blessing this far, and I wouldn't change it for nothing in the world. It has literally shaped my mind. Birth has shaped my mind. Watching what my wife has went through has shaped my mind. Like, shout out to all the mothers out there, especially the mothers who are single mothers. Watching what y'all go through for 9 months in an operating room or in the labor and delivery room or whatever, it has really shaped my mind, and I salute y'all. Watching her get ready to give birth, heart beating, thoughts in my mind about certain things that I'm not going to speak into existence, it made me cherish mothers even more, especially my child's mother, and cherishing my child, because a lot of things can happen, during that 9-month time frame, and while you get ready to give birth. So it has really shaped my mind. But all in all, having a child has really done great for me. And I want to encourage more of the youth who are having kids. If you have a kid, you can't do nothing about it. You had it. And we not, there should not be no regret on having no kid. I don't care who it's with, period. If you sat there and was acting grown enough to have a child, take care of it. It's cool. But I encourage anybody who don't have kids at a young age yet, take your time and wait. Number one, having a child with the right person is very important. And I'm talking to male and female. This ain't just about a male, this ain't just about a female. It's very important. Number two, giving yourself enough time to be able to grow in this world, to be able to experience some things, to be able to give yourself enough time to go and chase the dreams and goals that you have that could potentially set your child up, for better positioning, especially if you come from a background of traumas or not having as much as you think you should have had or whatever the case may be. Give yourself enough time. To my young brothers out there, childhood is a beautiful thing. Being that as of the recording of today, it's only been 9 days of having a child. I don't see how y'all, you young men who may not be in your child's life are not there. Now, I know it's some people who are not there because the mother is treating you a certain way. And some of y'all innocent and some of y'all guilty, you know. But the ones who are innocent, who does what they want to do, but the mother is just not letting you see them for whatever reason. It could be because y'all not together and they, jealous or whatever the case may be. I don't see how many men are not in their child's life or why they do the things they do. Because this is beautiful. I cannot keep my eyes off my child. I'm envisioning how she's going to grow up, the things she might be interested in that is productive and support growth. Like the feeling it gives me to thrive every day, to go out here and get it, not really hustle, but create that legacy. The goals that I have for her that starts with me, like it's a beautiful thing. Like I don't see how y'all not there. But I want to encourage y'all to be there. If you're not ready to be in a child's life, don't even lay down unprotected. Stop having unprotected sex with these women. Literally. Because you're hurting the mother, you're hurting the child. Most importantly, you're really hurting yourself as well. Because even if you decided to be there later on, the damage had already been done. Now you're going to suffer. Come on, we got to build better men. And I know some of y'all don't understand, or it's based off of things that y'all learn or the things that y'all know. But I'm here to support you, brother. You're talking to somebody who probably lived the same life as you. A woman here, a woman there, all around. But at some point we got to grow up because it's not about us. We can't make these kids suffer at all, especially if you're there. So to all my young brothers, let's get it together. And in the future, I am going to be hosting events where we bring young men together who have kids or don't even have kids. And we talk about fatherhood, how to prepare for it, and how to go through it if you're already an existing father. That way it don't be no excuses as to why, young fathers are not doing what they're supposed to do. And young women out there, if the father is there trying to be there, and they have not really done any wrong that in regards to the child, let the father be there. Man, that baby girl, baby boy is going to need that father. Literally. You're talking to somebody who, from the age 7 years old to 23 years old didn't have his father. Not because my father was sorry, just because my father was incarcerated. I know how I feel not to have that gap filled. Don't allow your child to suffer. Please. So yeah, that's pretty much all that I wanted to speak on as far as, you know, parenthood. I understand that everything I do in front of her, everything I do away from her can and will either indirectly or directly affect her. We have a duty to serve. We have a duty to act as a caregiver. We have a duty to go get as much as possible, not only for ourselves, but for our seed that we have planted and watched grow. So for everyone out there who are not living to their full potential, today is your day to get there. It starts here. It don't start when you have a child. It don't. You're behind a curve then. Can you still be a great person or to be the best version of yourself? Most definitely you can. But what if you can prepare ahead of having a child by working on yourself each and every day? And I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't know that, like, what I was doing up until I had a kid, I don't feel like it was enough. When that kid came out, I had a whole different perspective that I didn't even realize was there when it comes to having to raise a child. Like, I'm looking forward to it too. And the crazy thing is, there is no recipe to how to raise a child. Yeah, there might be books to give you ideas and stuff, but everybody's situation is going to be different. Every child is different. But if you can keep an open mindset to these things, if you are willing to change, willing to grow, and be the best version of yourself, you'll be a great parent. Again, shout out to all the mothers out there, especially the single mothers, for what you do each and every day for that child, the things you go through for those 9 months. I don't know if I could ever do it. So salute to y'all. For my fathers out there, salute to you. Salute to you. The present fathers, salute to you. And for the fathers who are not present, still salute to you. I still feel like you can be there. I still feel like you can be a great father. You just have to believe in yourself. Come on, man. Let's do it. These kids need us. The only way to change the youth's future is by changing what we do today. What we do today can and will affect what happens to our youth in the future. And that's all I really have to say. So if you found any type of value, transformation, especially, a mindset shift or perspective, shift, I would like you to like, share, and subscribe. And make sure you share this with somebody young who is or will one day create a kid. They need to hear this. They need to watch this. It's beautiful. And I want you to actually subscribe because I will continue to drop more personal development type of content. Because these are conversations that need to be had. I am going to bring on other guests where we have these great conversations about different topics in life. All the money talking is cool. But the real wealth is the talks about everyday living that has to do with growth. Because remember, money is just a byproduct of who you are and what you become. The conversation shouldn't start in a transactional way or a materialistic way. It should start here, in this way, talking about growth, mindset, personal development, peace, mental health awareness, those things. Those are the things that's going to help you be a higher version of yourself to go and claim those materials or financial type of gifts that you're looking for. Again, if you found any value in this, make sure you like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for the next episodes of the Willpower Hour. I see you.